Hey everybody, today we are checking out a cordless tire inflator that's also a jump starter, or a jump starter that's also a cordless tire inflator. Anyways, you get the point, let's look at it. Here's how I received it. Let's open up the box, see what we've got in here. Packing foam, and a nice case for our jump starter. Okay, first up we have some directions, which you may or may not want to read. Another piece of foam. Here is our JumpStarter tire inflator unit. Let me turn this around so we can read it. 8,250 amps and 150 psi. That's quite a bit. Good looking unit though. Alright, what else do we have in here? We've got a pouch, and this has got our jumper cables in it. We're also going to need this, the hose for the tire inflator. Also in our pouch is a USB to USB-C cable. Okay, before we turn it on, let's just take a closer look at it. We'll save that control panel for last. What we've got on the side here, here are your USB connections. This USB-C here is your input. This is a regular USB out, and this is a regular USB-C out, and this is a 12 volt out. This is an LED light that can be turned on, and this right here is an important button. This is your force start button, and we will definitely be using this later. I can pretty much guarantee that. Alright, moving over to this side, this is the starter port, and this is where you plug your jumper cables in. These just plug in like so, they only fit one way. Alright, those are fully seated, ready to go. Nothing on this side, and nothing on this side, except for some dirt from my workbench. Underneath, here is your hose for the air compressor. What you do with this is you just screw this hose into place right here. Just like so. Now we've got our jump starter cables on and our air compressor hose on. Let's see how much juice this thing's got. Just gonna hold that power button down. So we've got our 12 volt ready, and then next to that we've got a meter, 25, 50, 75, and full, and it appears to be full. Hit the M button here. So this does have some presets. Here you can see this changing. There's a car, bicycle or motorcycle, and oh, there's a bicycle. And that's like a basketball, only 8 pounds. And I guess that's an airplane or something. I have no idea. Freestyling it. I don't know. But let's go back to the car here. So 36 is going to be way too much for what we want to put in. So I am going to go back to that. Back to our car. I want to change that. I'm just going to hit there's no minus. You just hit the plus button and hold it. And it'll loop around. And it's still too much. I'm just going to put 30 pounds in the tire that we're going to blow up because it's completely flat. You'll see. Right, before we do that, remember that light I was telling you about? Just hold that button down and it turns the light on. And then it'll also flash. And then press it again. Now it's doing, well, if you know Morse code, you know that's SOS. And yeah, we're back to off. Let's blow up a completely flat tire and see how long it takes to get to 30 pounds. We're back in the far corner of the shop, and this is my 71 Chevelle, the poor thing that I've had for many, many years, and well, maybe this year will be the year I actually do some work to it. But that's not why we're here. It's got a flat tire, a really flat tire. So let's see if this can pump it up. So here's our tire. You can see that is pretty darn flat. Now this comes off like that. We're gonna push it all the way on here. Hopefully I can do this with one hand. There. Alright, we're gonna hit All right, a little over 5 minutes, not bad. And just a word of caution, these metal fittings can get hot. All right, we still have 25, 50, 75, so we're still in the 75% range, so that should be enough to try and jump start a car. And not just any car, but a 1947 Cadillac with a 500 cubic inch Cadillac engine in it. So now normally I go outside and mess with one of the cars outside before I mess with this one, but yeah, I'm not going out there. So we're just gonna try it out on this one. First things first, you can see our battery is connected, but when we try our key, nothing happens. We're just nothing. So we're gonna take our jump box, make sure we have a good connection here, put our positive right here. Now you may want to go here on yours, but mine is painted and this is bare metal right here, so that's the best connection for mine. Or I could probably use this bolt right here, kind of like so. Okay, we're going to turn our power on here. Now I already know that this thing is super dead. Normally you would hit this button and it would attempt to start. Now you can see it says short circuit battery dead. So now what do we do? Remember that force start button? So over here on the side, I know you can't see it, there's a force start button. We're going to disconnect our negative, turn this on, and I'm going to press the force start button down and hold it. And then see our light that's lit up down here? Now we're going to hook this back up. We're ready to try to crank now. Okay, it started cranking it and then it died. That's what happens with the force start sometimes. So we're just going to turn it back on. We're going to disconnect our negative. Turn it back on. We're still in the 75% range, so we should be okay there. And the force start's kind of a time feature, so the faster I put my camera down and get over there, the better off we'll be. So I'm going to hold the force start down. There, it's ready. Hook our negative back up. Okay, now that was pretty good. Now you might be thinking, well, but it didn't start. We're not trying to start the car. We're trying to test a jump starter. When you test a jump starter, it's not about the car starting. It's about how well it cranks. And you heard how well this 500 cubic inch engine was just cranking off that little jump starter. That was pretty good. We're going to try it again, see what it does. I haven't even pumped the gas on this thing. We'll give it a shot, maybe it'll start. Keep in mind, what you want it to do is you want it to be able to crank it for a long time. You want it to crank fast so that when your car, which isn't old and carbureted, it's new and fuel injected and you probably just left the lights on, it's going to start right up. It's going to have plenty of juice for the electric fuel pump, and then it's going to be able to crank it and get all the fuel injectors going and the computer going and all that good stuff. And that's really what we want to have happen. And you can tell that this would be just fine with a modern car because it's really cranking this whole thing like crazy. All right, let's try again. See if it's got any gas. Okay, well the engine didn't start, but that's okay. It definitely has proven that if it can crank over a 500 cubic inch Cadillac engine, it can crank over any modern engine because there's nothing in any modern car right now that is 500 cubic inches. Not even close. And even after all that cranking, this thing is still at like 50%, it looks like. Now this high temp error is from all of that cranking. And this is 100% to be expected. Thanks for watching. I'm going to let this thing cool down and give it another shot. A little bit of starting fluid will probably help.